Hi everybody, so I've recently changed my camera. I now use a Canon M50 and I started to realise that over time you build up more camera equipment and your bag starts to fill up, and I'll show you the bag that I was using. My camera bag, just a general sort of rucksack. But as you expand your kit, you need to kind of think about what a specialist rucksack might be and what you could use to do the job. So I've got three rucksacks that I've been trialling out to see which one works best for me, and over my right hand shoulder I've got the Malayas rucksack, and to my left hand shoulder I've got the K&F Concepts. I think it's 2-camera multiple lenses version, but I'll put the link down below. And then over to my far left is the newer large camera rucksack. I've got these laptops in just to see what works best for me. Now I had some preferences that I wanted to work to, but generally I was fairly open-minded. I wanted to be able to easily get to all my kit without opening lots of pockets and all those sorts of things and unzipping lots of things. And I didn't really want to worry too much about bits and pieces falling out when you open the laptop bag or the rucksack. And I prefer, if possible, to have a sleeve for a laptop. And as I said before, I didn't really want to spend over £50 or thereabouts. £50 would have been fine. And water resistance or waterproof would also have been good. The three rucksacks are different in a number of ways. I've got a broad range of rucksacks just to see what worked best for me. The newer Pro is £52.99, and that's the largest of the three, and that's 34 centimetres by 26 by 52 and is £4.2. The Malayas is £28.29, is 32 by 17 by 47 and comes in at £3.2. And the K&F Concepts, which is the one that I went for in the end, is £47.99 and measures 26 by 14 by 42 centimetres and weighs in at 2.4 pounds, so it's also the lightest. Now, one of the things that I realised was, because I'm looking for a rucksack for a mirrorless, the Canon EFM range, I really needed something that really wasn't too deep. Some of the bigger laptop bags, such as the newer, are very deep compared to the actual height and width of the EFM Canon M50 camera. And what that means is when you put it in the inserts, there's an awful lot of height, so the camera would move around, but it's just generally wasted space. So that's the three that I looked at. So let's talk a little bit about the newer Pro. Quality wise, it seems to be probably the better of the three. It really is nicely made. All the beading is nicely done. The material looks really more than £52.99. It's nicely stitched. It's just genuinely well made all throughout the whole thing, outside and in. It really does look nice. So the main plus for this rucksack is that the camera compartment is completely covered. I think it's what's called the loop side of the Velcro. So what this means is you can move the dividers around to position them anywhere and they'll stick to the base. And the other two that we'll look at just don't have that. So it limits the choices of where you can actually put the dividers to set the rucksack up to your own requirements. So also on this, there seems to be three places where you can attach a tripod. Both sides have attachments and a little pocket to put the bottom of the tripod into. And then also on the back, you have the loop and a little flap that comes out to tuck the tripod into. So there's also three small really handy pockets, two on each side of the waistbands, and then also at the top of the rucksack there's a really neat little pocket there. So if you're traveling with this rucksack, and this is more of a travel rucksack, you've got three nice and convenient pockets for you to put maybe your passport, keys, money, all those sorts of things in. So the thing is, I think with this laptop, it's really nice. It's nicely made. It's a bit heavier, but it really is a travel rucksack camera bag, I guess, rather than just a day bag, which is what I was kind of more looking for. And then just generally, the depth of the compartment is just too deep for an EFM. I think for a DSLR camera, this is perfect. If you've got big lenses, but the EFM camera just doesn't have big lenses and it's such a small camera anyway. So secondly then, let's have a look at the Malayas rucksack, camera rucksack. The format of this rucksack I quite like, although there is one thing, there's no laptop sleeve with it. It's purely just a camera rucksack. So essentially this is just a camera bag, but it seems to be two sections, which I like the idea of. There seems to be a bottom section here where, again, very deep, too deep for a Canon EFM camera, and then at the top you have this section which really just seems to be the size of a small camera rucksack. And you can see it's really, if you take into account those two compartments, there really is quite a lot of space there. So generally the materials just seem that much cheaper than what the Neewer does. So it just doesn't stack up to the Neewer, but you've got to bear in mind the price point. This is £28.99 versus the £52.99 of the Neewer laptop. The camera compartments just feel cheap, unfortunately. Now these just generally don't stack up to the same quality of the Neewer, but also to attach them into place or to fix them into place, there's just one strip of Velcro. Now the Neewer, as I discussed, has the whole thing has the other side of the Velcro, so you can attach these anywhere, sideways, horizontally, diagonally, whatever you want to do. Here you're really restricted, and because there's only one fixing point across the Velcro, it's all very loose, and you get this general sort of loose sort of thing, and it just doesn't instill confidence. And it's the same obviously with the bottom as well, in putting your laptop, or sorry, in putting your camera into a bag like this. That said, if you have a lot of lenses and a big camera, value for money, you can't go wrong with this. This is £28.99, and honestly, there's straps, pockets. You can put 2 tripods into this, and you can even attach some lens cases to the strap. So I think value for money, this is a good choice at £28.99 if you've got a DSLR. I wouldn't write this one off, but it just doesn't have the same quality as the Neewer. And again, lots of pockets, but too deep for a Canon M50. So let's move on to the K&F Concepts rucksack camera bag. And this one really does fulfill one of my main requirements, which was with one zip, you can open the top and the whole thing is accessible. Now, clearly you would open that horizontally, not vertically, but I have come up with a way that works for me to take away the concern of anything falling out when you actually open this. It does come with a laptop sleeve as well, and a 13-inch MacBook Pro fits in there, an absolute treat. And it also has a side pocket in the cover, which is big enough for perhaps one of the larger iPads as well. So the main thing I like about this camera rucksack is the fact that it's thinner, and it is pretty much exactly the thickness of the Canon M50, which means that it fits in there, there's no wasted space, and most of the lenses fit in there just a treat. So the main thing again is just having access to everything when I open one zip. The other thing about this camera rucksack is that it's very easy to reconfigure. There is double strips of Velcro, and if you remember, one of my complaints about the Malaya was the fact it just had the one strip of Velcro. So whilst these aren't to the same quality as the Neewer, the dividers for the compartment, they kind of sit in between, I guess, than with the 3 laptops that we're looking at. It's firm, they're solid, and they attach in a much stronger way. I think one thing that I will miss is that there's nowhere to put a drinks bottle, which is a bit of a shame. But there is a nice place to attach a tripod, and this folds down as on many other rucksacks, and you just tuck the bottom of the tripod into that, and it just works a treat. And the front is pretty clean, there's not much really happening there, no other pockets to really talk about. But in general, this is just a nice tidy rucksack, and let's just have a look and see how the things go into my rucksack. So I'll just pop a picture up on the screen of the bits and pieces that I take out of me on a camera day. So there's the cameras, there's a Canon M50 and a 15-45 lens and a 22mm lens. There's also a GoPro 6 and a GoPro 4. I use the GoPro 4 is permanently set up for time lapse, and the GoPro 6 is permanently set up for video, normally on 25 or 24 frames, and it's just touch button and can record. So if I need to get a picture of something quickly, I go for the GoPro, and it's just so much quicker to get the camera out of the bag and get that set up. It just does a great job providing you've got good light. So that's the 3 cameras that I carry. In terms of the stands, I carry a GorillaPod and 2 small kind of tripods for putting the GoPros onto, but they also hold the weight of the Canon M50 as well, so they're a really quick solution for setting the camera up. All of the cameras up really. I think I paid £2 for those at a second-hand shop, so that's quite good. In terms of accessories, I've got a couple of filters. I don't really have many filters at the moment. I've got a couple of UVs. I've got a variable ND, which I've just started using, which is great for filming. And I use a transparent pencil case, which I use to put all my bits and bobs in for different attachments for the camera and that sort of thing. What I find really great about that is I can just see by looking at the pencil case exactly what I've got in there, and I don't need to rummage around in bags or little boxes or anything like that. It just works really well, and it's easy to find things as well. And then lastly, in terms of cables and chargers, if I'm just going out for a day just with a little bit of filming, I carry a very small charger, but I carry cables for my iPhone for the M50 USB battery charger, and also the two different USB cables for USB-C and USB for the GoPro 6 and the GoPro 4. Okay, so let's have a look and see how I've got my camera set up in the bag. And I've tried a couple of different setups for the different compartments and just see, what's going to work best for me. And I'm quite happy with this one so far. This was about the second one that I did, and it seems to work okay. So let's start loading up and we'll see where things go. So the Canon M50 goes over here. Just pop that in there. Okay, and then what we do is slide in the two GoPros, and I put the lenses opposite to each other, so if they do knock against each other, they're not going to do too much damage. And then the Joby sling strap I pop in the middle here, which seems to fit in there quite well. That's good. And then I've got the two mini tripods, which are these guys, which are just great. They're fantastic, so they're really handy to have because they're so quick to set up. So they go down the side like that. And then after that, I've got the GorillaPod, which just fits in there a treat, like so. Okay, so that's good. And then after that, I've got a couple of lenses which go into here. So that's the 11-22 and that's the 22mm for the Canon EFM. And what else have we got? So I've got two filters. So what they're actually inside this bag, and as you can see there, but what I do, I haven't got a filter bag yet, so I'll get one eventually, but what I do is put the two filters in, twist it and do that, and then they go in there like that, which seems to work quite well. What else have we got? So this is the bits and bobs case that I was talking about, so that's has all the different pieces in there, and you can just easily see different bits and pieces that you might want to find. That goes in there like that. And what else do we have? So we then have the battery charger. So this is my USB battery charger. That goes in there. I then have a small kind of battery charger. That goes over here, like so. And then in addition to that, if I'm going out for a long day, I've got a power. This is quite solid. I use that for a whole week of holidays, and it lasted charging phones and GoPros and all sorts of things. That's fantastic. That goes in there. I then have a external mic, which I use outside with the, I guess, dead cat. So that goes in there, which is a treat. I then also have one of these, which is a trigger grip with a trigger grip with a standard screw thread on it. And this is great because you can attach it to the Canon and also to either of the GoPros, and it just works quite well. So that then goes in there like that. And then there's a Zoom H1N, and that is just placed into an old glass case that I have with a spare battery, which is quite useful. And that goes on there like so. Twist away the bolt there, or the nut that keeps the Joby tight. That goes there, goes across and attaches to the side. So that works really quite well. Now, the other thing that I do, this was what I was saying earlier on, is that I brought one of these for my rucksack, and that's how I used to carry my camera around. But what I've done, I've taken the two inserts out of that, like so. And what I do, I attach one there like that, and that goes in there like so. And then also over here is another compartment cover which does that. And this I use for the backup camera that I'm filming on now. And then additionally, which I'm using, which you can't see, I've got a lavalier mic which I take out with me as well because it actually records quite well. And what I did with that, because this wire just used to completely get in the way all the time, it used to drive me nuts. So this is an old, what's that from? That's from a mower. It's the strimmer that you put onto the bottom of a mower, and this was an old cartridge that came with it, and this has just been great. It just keeps the wires completely tidy. So that would be in there, but I'm using that right now. So that is pretty much it, and as you can see, that works really well. That when that comes up, that will be completely inside. And the height of this, I think, was 14 centimeters. So you can see if you've got a Canon, any of the ranges, I can't really say any, but the Canon M50, it kind of fits in there quite well. And then we close it up, and that, as you can see, does up a treat. So as with anything, it's your individual choice and deciding what you actually want the rucksack specifically to do and the kit you've got for yourself. I think for now, at a relatively low cost, I've got something that'll work for me in most situations. And I'm really happy with the price. This was £42, I think I said. So 42? 47. £47.99. So let's see. And it's supposed to be waterproof as well. So the details below, how to buy these rucksacks if you want to get them from Amazon, that would be great. I've also linked to the bits and pieces for this as well, because to get exactly the same setup, you will need to get the extra bits out of there. And actually, I still keep this in another small rucksack because sometimes I just grab the camera and another lens and go. I don't necessarily want to take this out on a day because it's not a particularly big filming day. I just want to take the camera with me, so that works well. So look, hopefully you found this useful and it saved you a little bit of time when thinking about rucksacks, and I've shown you how you can get a Canon M50 into a relatively good rucksack for £47.99, and you can see how my layout works. Hope you found that interesting. So if you found this useful, it'd be great to get a thumbs up from you, and please do leave a comment below.